Hey, welcome back to 834 Moto Builds. Today we've got a 1996 CR250 in the garage. We're going to tear this thing down and start another replica build. I picked this bike up about a year ago. It was only 15 minutes from my house, so I had to snag it up. It may be the closest thing I'll ever get to a barn find. Third owner, the original owner, rode it for a little while, number of years, and just put it away, threw it in a barn. And 2 years ago, the kid I bought it from had purchased it, and he did some small things to get it going, but other than that, it's in its original state from when it was put in the barn. For those of you guys that know 96 CR250s, the radiators are getting really hard to find, and especially the OEM radiator louvers. So this has both sides intact, and the radiators for the year are fairly straight. Nobody's really crashed hard and smushed them. I'm looking forward to this build. Most of the bikes I've done over the last couple of years have been in pieces when I bought them, missing parts, not having the right motors. So this is a fairly complete bike. Engine's intact, and supposedly it runs. So hopefully this should be a smooth restoration. So I've hit my first snag here getting this apart. The swing arm pivot bolt is going through from the wrong side, and the head of it has flats on it that engage a feature on the frame that prevents the bolt from spinning. And then if we go to this side, someone put a 15/16 coarse thread nut onto this axle and bound it up. So I'm gonna have to figure out something to get this off. So love it or hate it, here's what I'm gonna do. I've got this pretty much scrap bolt that has the threads all stripped off from it, and it happens to fit inside the swing arm pivot, and I'm just gonna tack it into place here and use that as an anti-rotation feature. So here's what we got going on here. 16 millimeter swing arm bolt. and a 5/8 coarse thread nut as somebody had tried to thread onto this. Threads are already ruined by the looks of it. They didn't get it on very far. And then, of course, my little weld trick to keep this from spinning, I just tack welded this bolt into the end here. I'm not exactly sure how this happened, but it looks like this bolt is not going to come out. I don't know how it got assembled. The head hits the frame before it comes out. It clearly would have been a straight shot from this side had somebody assembled it properly, but I don't even know how they got it in there. How did they put it together? It's always the last bolt too. So now that I've got this all cleaned up, well, cleaned up enough to see what was going on, it looks like somebody just forced this bolt in. They got it started and drove it in, and it just scratched across the frame. Must have really been twisting the linkage here, doing bad stuff to the bearings. I don't know why you would do that and not just put it in from the other side. To get it apart, I'm just gonna cut the bolt and push it out the other side. I cut the bolt in half and it came right out. And I started looking around in one of my junk drawers. I knew I had a 94 CR125 swing arm and linkage. And this is the 94 stuff. It looks like that bolt is going to work for what I need. So I guess I'm in it for a swing arm pivot bolt. But the frame's all stripped down. I'm going to do a little bit of weld repair. The foot pegs, usually these holes are elongated and the pins rattle around. But this one actually looks pretty good, so there might not be much to do there. I am going to weld some tabs on for a skid plate, and I'm going to put some inserts, some little threaded bosses into the side of the frame here for the water pump guard. Just heard back from my powder coater, and the 86 CR125 frame is done. I go grab that, and hopefully I'll have this frame ready to go and I can drop that off while I'm up there. So stay tuned and we'll start working back on the 86, get the engine in there and start putting that back together.